Hello there my RPG lovers and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna talk about the Lords of the Fallen sequel and everything we know so far about this game. Now, I'm one of those people who are really tired of hearing how every other game gets compared to Dark Souls, but Lords of the Fallen is truly heavily inspired by From Software's masterpiece and they never actually wanted to hide that fact. And while it did borrow a lot from the first Souls game, Lords of the Fallen had some unique concepts and slightly different approach to game design in general. It could be described as light Dark Souls because the gameplay is more forgiving and it could serve as a good introduction to this subgenre. It's by no means an easy game, especially by today's modern game journalist standards, but hey, those standards are low as my confidence with opposite sex while I was in high school. Yeah, the first Lords game was made by CI Games and Deck 13. The guys from Deck 13 then went on their own path and developed The Surge, another Souls-like game that got released in 2017. What's really interesting is the fact that Lords of the Fallen sequel was also supposed to be released in 2017. This didn't happen because the team from CI Games had more hopes for their other title called Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 and they deeply regret that decision because that game didn't sell well. The CI Games boss admitted they screw up and he said that positioning the game in AAA category was a bad idea because they spent too much effort trying to catch up with other AAA titles in terms of production. But that's behind them now and I'm actually really glad to hear when the developers have the balls to admit their mistakes and not crawl under some rock or just plain ignore all the criticism like some other developers. That's a big plus in my book and one of the reasons why I'm really excited for the Lords sequel. What's more important for the Lords of the Fallen sequel is that CI Games have found another studio which will help them with the development. The partner is Defiant Studios, a relatively new and small studio in New York. It was founded in 2016 by some of the leaders and founders of Avalanche's New York office following the release of Just Cause 3. Then later in the same article, Defiant Studio boss David Green said, "Our team has been excited about the chance to make the next Lord of the Fallen from the moment we started to work on our pitch for CI. We are particularly thrilled about the creative freedom that CI Games is willing to offer." This Eurogamer article is almost a year old, but we can still say for sure that Lords of the Fallen sequel won't release for at least a couple of more years. But I'm hoping for a trailer or at least a teaser in the upcoming year where we can see how the game is progressing. I also hope that they don't change the art style too much because that's one of the strongest aspects of the first game in my opinion and it still looks great. AAA or not, I doubt that the overall look of the sequel will be bad, but let's talk about what's really the most important thing here, and that's the gameplay of course. I'm really curious to see will Deck 13's The Surge have any influence over Lords sequel or Defiant Studio have their own unique ideas for improving the gameplay. However it may be, the gameplay will probably be faster and more fluid like in Dark Souls 3 and The Surge. The author of this article also said that he sees no reason why Lords of the Fallen 2 wouldn't stick with the same gameplay style as The Surge. There is one big problem that I think the author of this article forgot. The gameplay in Surge was recognizable mainly for the limb targeting system. You could target different parts of the body and choose to attack that specific part. This system was also tied to the loot you will get from the enemies. I could be wrong, but I don't see Lords of the Fallen 2 using the similar system, but like I said, I'm almost sure that the gameplay will be faster and smoother. This is all speculation of course, because we still don't have any information about the sequel. I wouldn't mind at all if they decide to take the Surge as their main inspiration for the gameplay, because I think that the gameplay in Surge was really good and underrated. Not only the combat, but I also really liked how the gear and upgrades worked. Also, The Surge 2 is on the way, which is a topic for another video. Anyway, I can't wait for more info about Lords of the Fallen sequel and I will do more videos about it once we get more stuff to talk about. I will probably do a review soon for Lords of the Fallen since I'm close to completing my first playthrough of that game. I bought it way back, but my older hardware just hated the game and I had a lot of CTDs and driver crashes. But now it works great on my PC. It could be the patches though, I don't know. Anyway, that will be all for this video. Be sure to press the thumbs up button and subscribe for more RPG content. I have to give special thanks to my patrons for supporting this channel in the long run, you guys are awesome! If you as well want to become a patron, you can do that by visiting the links in the description or you can click on the end screen annotation. See ya in the next one.